Hey, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, actually, if you're here still on the East Coast. This is Christie Hutcherson, founder of Women Fighting for America, on the front lines and in the fight every day for you, the American people. I want to really quick address, I am, as you can see, if you can see, it's a little faded out. There's a big old skyline behind me, and that skyline is New York City. And I have been invited by the United Nations civil society to represent you, the people, the voice for the voiceless, for the reflections on the 2023 report of the Secretary General of the United Nations Global Counterterrorism Strategy and how it also impacts human trafficking and human atrocities that take place all over the world. As we all know, yesterday was a National Women's Day, and I was kind of silent yesterday, and that was on purpose. And the reason why is because I don't believe that we need to separate ourselves into groups or genders. I think we need to be celebrating women every day, just like we need to be celebrating humanity every day, whether you're white, brown colors, whatever that is, we need to be celebrating our individuality every single day of the year. We don't need one particular day to set aside, in my opinion. Also, you know, the women's movement has been hijacked by the feminist movement. Interestingly enough, yesterday I was reached out to by I-24 News out of Israel, and unfortunately I could not do that debate, but I did have a dear friend of mine, Mel K of the Mel K Show, sit in for me to debate these two other individuals. And I found it really interesting, the dynamics of the women and the diversity of the women that they chose to represent the voice in this Women's National Day movement yesterday. One of those, and I'm not going to tell you what her last name is because I don't want to give her too much credit, but her name is Jex. And doing my due diligence, like I always do on this individual, she's a Satanist. She openly worships Satan. She's got some seriously vulgar mottos and T-shirts and things that she sells. She's an activist. She is 100% for killing innocent children and babies all over the world via abortion. And so I don't think her voice represents women, especially on National Women's Day. But I regress to that. But I wanted to address the reason why I didn't address yesterday, because again, I believe that we need to stop dividing and we need to start unifying. And when you start labeling and having all of these different groups, right? That is the, I don't even want to say the leftists anymore. It is a communist dictatorship to divide. Because when you keep yourselves divided, you can't be unified. We can be unified, but have different views. We can be unified and agree to disagree and come to mutual understanding and respect. But that is not anymore in America, nor do you see it in the culture around the world. And we need to get back to that type of humanity. So as I go and speak, and I'm going to tell you what the agenda is today, and and I'm very, I was kind of, I don't know if to say I was honored, but to be invited to the United Nations is a big deal. And I did not accept this invitation right away because I really was struggling with this. As you guys all know, I don't believe that the United Nations serves the purpose in which it was created anymore. I believe that the United Nations has completely lost its way. And so, but we need to have voices in the United Nations that represent the people, most of the people. Again, I believe that the United Nations should be defunded and dismantled, as well as the WHO, and other IMF and other organizations. I believe that we need to put Americans' Constitution first. But to be honored to go and speak on international counterterrorism and how it also impacts trafficking and human dignity all over the world, because they do go hand in hand. So the agenda today, it is a high-level meeting. It's taking place in the ECOSOC chamber at the United Nations headquarters here in New York City, which I am right now. We have a panel of distinguished guests, speakers, including the final response will be by Rafi, who is the deputy to the Undersecretary General and Director of the UN Office of Counterterrorism. So I will be able to have an opportunity to speak and collaborate with these very intellectual minds. So I'm very privileged to be able to do that. But also, I'm going to be speaking for the voiceless, because just like we're finding out coming out of Iran, you have the Iranian government who is actively engaging in the murder and illness of young schoolgirls. That's been going on for months now through some kind of suspicious gas. Where is the outrage of the United Nations? Where is the outrage of the UN right now? That's what I would like to know. What are they doing about it? What is our government doing about this? What is going on with women's rights in the Muslim world, in those countries where a young lady was beaten to death because she wasn't properly wearing her hijab? You know, we can sit there and say that we're for women's rights, we're for the equality of women, but when you have countries, especially a body like the United Nations, who is supposed to be all representative of these different countries and push back against these atrocities, and they're silent, I have to question what their real motive is. Look at the individuals who are in place in these different positions. That's why I believe the United Nations no longer serves its purpose. You've got China, who is one of the biggest offenders of women and children in slavery, and they are silent, and they take billions of dollars from the Chinese government. They are the third largest donor to the United Nations, but they are silent on the atrocities taking place in China, whether it's through organ harvesting, labor trafficking, or sexual trafficking in China. They are silent. We need to speak out about these atrocities, and we need to do something about it. I have also talked to you guys and discovered 2 weeks before Christmas last year, we discussed tunnels here in America, biggest, largest sophisticated tunnel ever found, but that has been silenced, and you're not hearing that anywhere. I told you about the Iranian aircraft that took off from Tehran, landed in Mexico, then went to Caracas, Venezuela, and then landed in Buenos Aires. And on that aircraft was cyber intelligence operatives and cyber intelligence, very sophisticated cyber intelligence equipment. Silence to the rest of the world. You're not hearing about that. I also broke that Iran, the Revolutionary Guard, one of their leaders, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, was the pilot of that plane. We also broke the story that Iran has training camps set up with the Trans International Criminal Organizations, aka cartel. And yes, the cartel should be deemed a terrorist organization, 100%. That needs to happen pretty quickly. And it does make a difference, because when you label a group what they really are, terrorists, it opens up a lot of tools for us to go after and look at where the money goes. But I don't believe they ever want to do that, because unfortunately, there's numerous politicians, judges, businessmen, etc., who are paid off by this blood money. And unfortunately, in some instances, the CIA actually helps to orchestrate and facilitate the emboldening and creation of some of these cartels. So as I go live today in front of the United Nations, I hope you guys will tune in and watch. I hope that you'll be able to see firsthand how women fighting for America is on the front lines fighting for you. The journey that I've been called to do hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been without a lot of obstacles, sacrifice. But I go where God calls me to go every single day. And I will be the voice, even in the pits of darkness where he's leading me to go, to be that voice in the dark, because we have to bring light into the darkness, I believe. 100% of your time, talents, and treasure go towards me being able to, and this organization being able to be the voice for you. So please get involved. Text FIGHT. There's a ticker tape at the bottom of this right now. Text FIGHT to 91776. We are growing with your help. With your donations, we're able to bring you more information. We're going to be able to create newsletters. We're going to be able to create more actionable items and steps, because as you guys know, I'm a girl of action. I believe we need to take action to take back our country. America literally is standing at a crossroads. Unfortunately, our own governments are so corrupt and have lost their way. We, the people, are the answer. I'm asked all the time, Christy, what can we do? How do we save our nation? And I repeat this over and over again. No Calvary's coming to save you. The founding fathers knew it best. They knew that a government could become corrupt because we have corruptible hearts. The Constitution is your guiding star. Get a hold of the Constitution and your Bill of Rights. Read them, understand them. Get a hold of a book called Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates, and then partner with organizations like Women Fighting for America to give you those actionable items. I know when you text FIGHT to 91776, you will get a 14-point plan to save America's future. Among other plans, one of those is called Battle Ready. How do you become battle ready for this time? Please join us in this fight to save the heart and soul of your nation and your country. God bless you guys. Follow me today as I go live from the United Nations. I am going to be live from the United Nations, and I will be speaking on the Secretary General's report, the 2023 report and agenda, Strategy 7 on counterterrorism and human trafficking. As always, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.